Creston, a small town with a population of only 8,000 people, nestled in the southwest corner of Iowa, some 60 miles from the nearest city. A place where small-town middle-class life is epitomized, and boredom often leads to drug and alcohol abuse. One man has risen above those temptations and formed a community all his own. Chris Doster overcame addiction and found his calling in life when he discovered health and fitness. This is his story, and the story of a few of the lives he has touched at his gym, CrossFit TYL, where every day athletes are showing up and transcending their limits.
I eat, drink, and sleep CrossFit. Pretty much first thing in the morning, I'm thinking about the WOD that's on tap that day at the gym. And once I get to the gym, then it's time to really live my mission, right? That mission is to devote time on a daily basis to my physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, thereby allowing me to help others do the same. When I'm living my mission and helping people find the healthiest, strongest version of themselves, which that's what I'm doing in CrossFit, right? That's what I love about it, is because I'm living my mission, smiling to myself, thinking, wow, this is cool, Chris. So, I wanted to talk today about why February 24th is an important day in my life. And I'm going to segue into that by explaining this graph here. It's called Marginal Gains Aggregation in CrossFit and Life. And so what this graph is showing us here is that there really is no difference when people make a bad and good decision in the beginning, right? So bad decisions right here, good decisions in blue. In the beginning, you don't see much difference, but as you go through time, there becomes a larger and larger gap between those of us that make a better decision, a 1% better decision on a daily basis. And so, February 24th, 9 years ago, I woke up with a bad hangover, probably some drugs in my system still, and I decided to make a 1% better decision that day. I cleaned my whole one-bedroom apartment of all the beer bottles, all the drug paraphernalia, and I decided to go for a 1-mile run that day. I'd always been into health and fitness before I got addicted to drugs and alcohol. And that day I decided to make a 1% better decision, and that was February 24th, 9 years ago. And so since then, I got sole custody of he was then 3 years old, got sole custody of my son. So my 3-year-old's mom was gone, right? She was out of the picture. At this point, I knew that I was his only parent, right? So I knew that a big part of whether he had a chance in life was whether I could get my shit together and be a good dad. Because if a kid has one parent, that parent better be a good parent, right? Because they're already down to one parent, whereas, some kids have 2 good parents, which is great. But anyway, I was at the point in my life with drugs and alcohol that I was at a crossroads, right? Like, I felt like I could just give up on myself and just live that life to the bitter end. But when I saw my 3-year-old son every day, he was living with me at that point, I could not bring myself to give up on him, right? I couldn't bring myself to give up on him. I could give up on myself because I was just that low in life. My self-esteem was that low. My only coping mechanism was the drugs and alcohol. And he was the reason, like, he came into my life when I was kind of messed up. And he was the miracle, right? Like, he was the reason that I had something down inside me that decided I had to change and give us a better life. And every day I've been getting 1% better, right? I went back to school and got my degree in health and human performance. I then got a degree or a job at a public health office. Every day I stayed clean and sober, one day at a time. Then I got really into CrossFit and helping other people with their health, And that led me to go to my L1 CrossFit training. And after that, the rest is history, right? Like I started teaching CrossFit out of my garage for a little bit, then moved into another space, and then found this space here that turned into CrossFit TYL. And that's where now I get to help athletes on a daily basis get 1% better every day, 1% stronger, 1% healthier, 1% fitter. I say 1% stronger mentally too, right? Every time they come in here, what I try to explain to them is every rep is a chance to get better, right? 1% better on your form and 1% stronger in life.
Would you say that's transpired into what you do with everyone else too? Wanting to give them a better life?
I think that's a good question, and yeah, I think so, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, to a certain degree, it drives me a lot because I've seen how low we can get in life, like how we can make a self-made prison. I was in a self-made prison, right? I didn't need to be in a jail cell, although I'd been there before. But like I was in this self-made prison of just, my own choosing. And yeah, not everybody has been addicted to drugs and alcohol, but we all struggle with our own issues. And I just have seen how far my life has come by making my health a priority. Because first I got clean and sober, and then I started becoming really into physical fitness like I'd been before my drug and alcohol issues. And then that, I really think that has been what has been the one constant in my life, is I kept striving towards better health, and then everything else has gotten better along the way. And yeah, I just want to help people feel that. I mean, damn, don't you feel good when you're feeling stronger and healthier than you ever have?
Absolutely.
And seeing people do things that they didn't think they'd ever do. A female doing a pull-up that they've never been able to do in their life, right? That is pretty awesome. When they say, I've never done a pull-up my entire life, and I just did one.
I've been CrossFitting for a little over a year, and it's helped me be a more rounded person. I used to run before CrossFit, only run, and I would have tight muscles, tight joints, just tight everywhere. And now I have muscle tone and flexibility, and Chris has helped me push past my limits that I thought I had, and I'm gonna cry. And he also stops me when I might hurt myself. As a more rounded athlete, he's become an affiliate now, and as an affiliate we can go to competitions and better ourselves. And I think my favorite memory and way that I've pushed myself the most is we went to competition in September, and I hit my 1 rep max of my power clean as a hang clean twice. And I didn't know I could even do that, but had it not been in a competition and been pushed by Chris to go ahead and go try that, I never would have even tried it here.
I am Nicole Shope, and I've been CrossFitting for almost 6 months now. 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with depression and really found myself in a rut. It has taken me years to embrace that part of myself, and CrossFit has been a big part of that. I didn't really start to embrace my diagnosis until I started coming here. CrossFit keeps me grounded, and it helps me keep control of my emotions. My favorite CrossFit memory is probably the 2 mile for time. When I first started here, I couldn't run around the block without When I first started here, I couldn't even get around the block without throwing up or passing out or being a little baby about it. I really like the family atmosphere here at TYL. Chris has been like a big brother since day one. I haven't known him before he became an affiliate, but he has been a great coach, a great mentor, and I look forward to coming and learning more about CrossFit every day. Can really tell he cares. He's not afraid to no-rep me, and as much as I hate that, that's an awesome thing because he does help each and every one of us grow.
My name is Tess Reinhardt. I've been doing CrossFit for about a year and a half now. What I like about CrossFit at TYL is I like the community that's here. I like the people that consistently show up and consistently encourage each other. It's nice to know that we've got people that care and that people that have the same goals as us and that work equally as hard to reach those same goals. It's a nice facility. It's not one of the biggest and bestest, but it does the job, and there's everything we need in order to meet those goals that we all set together. How can I tell that my coach really cares, Chris really cares about me individually and about this program? He dedicates 100% of his life to this, if not 110%. He's really helped me individually meet my goals, and he makes me feel like I matter, and that I'm not just on a team, and that I'm not just a money-making machine for him, but rather that he cares about my individual health, both physically and mentally, and he really helps me meet my individual goals by giving every day that I'm here 110% and going out of his way off the clock. He puts all of his heart and soul into this, and it's motivating, and you can tell he cares, and it's nice. Favorite memory about CrossFit? I've got a lot of them. One or multiple being the first everything, first pull-up, RX, first toes to bar, first muscle up. They're all great. First handstand push-up. Recently it's my muscle up, so that's probably to date getting my first bar muscle up. Another favorite memory about CrossFit is a wedding WOD. I got married this summer, and Chris was kind enough to host a wedding WOD where tons and tons of people came out just to celebrate my husband and I's wedding. And that was really nice. He deserves this, so.
So one of my favorite CrossFit memories as a coach is when Tess here, my cousin, had been working for months to get her first RX pull-up, and she got it after a WOD, and instantly she burst into tears and came running over to me and gave me a huge hug. I'll always remember that. And it's part of the reason that drives me as a coach, right? It's a big reason that drives me as a coach, because I love seeing that stuff happen, right? It never gets old, seeing somebody transcend their limits.
Okay, so I would have considered myself to be a very active person. I had tried numerous workouts as far as P90X, Insanity, all those kind of beach body workouts. I even got to the point where I was running quite a bit. And I remember I would run into Chris a few times here or there around town. And for probably 2 or 3 months, when I would run into him, he would nonchalantly ask me when I was gonna come and try this thing called CrossFit. And I had never ever heard of CrossFit before, and so I was pretty hesitant, probably I would say intimidated, because I do know that there was a few people that had been doing it for a few months anyway, and I'm a very competitive person, so I would have to say that I really was maybe afraid of going, failing, looking like an idiot. I'm not really sure what finally got me to go and try CrossFit for the first time at the garage. All I do know is that when I went, I absolutely loved it and was addicted from the very beginning. It is probably the only workout, not probably, it is the only workout that I have stuck with consistently. I've been doing it now for well over a year and a half. I'm 41 years old, I have 4 kids, and I have abs. I mean, I am in the best shape of my life. Never, not even in my 20s or in high school, was I in the shape that I am now. I used to be, 125 pounds. I would remember I would step on a scale daily, if not 2 or 3 times a day. And if my weight fluctuated, even a couple of pounds from where I thought I should be, I would literally panic, and stop eating. It was all about that stupid number on a scale. And I don't step on a scale unless I go to the doctor's office. I'm not afraid to say that at this point in time, I'm 145 to 150 pounds, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fact that, I'm okay with that number. Even at my smallest, I had such a body issue and lacked self-confidence, and I probably don't think I showed that to other people, but the confidence and the self-worth that CrossFit has given me is something that I will never ever to say thank you enough for. It is something that I thoroughly look forward to. It's not just another workout. I can't wait to go. Every time before a WOD, I literally feel like I'm going to throw up, and my stomach gets into knots, and when I'm done, it is the most exhilarating thing that I've accomplished something that a year ago, year and a half ago, never ever would I have ever thought that I could do that. And that, to me, is thanks to Chris. He has such a passion, not just for CrossFit in general, but he just has such a passion for fitness and health, and nothing makes him happier than to be able to share that with others and to go through the journey with others and see them accomplish things that they never ever thought would be possible. And I think that's probably the one thing that I love most about CrossFit is it's not just an individual. When you step into that box, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter whether you've been going to CrossFit for a year and a half or whether you started CrossFit a month and a half ago. Everybody there is so supportive. They are more excited, I think, when somebody reaches a goal that they have set than that person is themselves. The tears, the hugs, the high fives. I have never been part of a community or a group of people that just overall, it's hard to explain. It really is hard to explain, but the acceptance. You might be the first one done, but the last one gets the most support. They get the most cheers. And it is an awesome feeling to walk in there and have the support and the camaraderie of everybody else that is going through their own journey through CrossFit. And I would have to say probably my favorite CrossFit memory, even though there are many, would be, I believe we did a benchmark called, I think it was Ava.
My favorite memory of Jen Havman in CrossFit, this particular day was a WOD named Eva, and Jen had just mastered the art of the RX kipping pull-up.
I remember at the very end, my hands were tore up. I had them wrapped, and I mean, they were just tore up, and they were bleeding, and they hurt. And
but this WOD had 5 rounds of 30 pull-ups, 30 kettlebell swings, and a run, 800. Right? Yeah, and an 800. She must have been 3 or 4 rounds in, had done all your pull-ups RX to this point. I was already like, how is she doing all those pull-ups RX? She just learned how to do these. But she got to the point to where her hands had tore open, and they were bleeding pretty good. And I came over to her, and I was trying my best to convince her that she didn't have to finish all those pull-ups, right? That she could do some burpees or something that would be a lot easier on her hands. And I went from basically trying to get her to change to, like, I saw the determination in her eyes that she was going to finish this thing no matter what. And so at that point, I just became a cheerleader, right? And I'm like, okay, if I can't convince her, I'm gonna support her through the end. And it was just so cool. As a coach, it's one of my favorite memories, and seeing her finish that last pull-up and hugging her and her crying, yeah, but it was very cool.
I had my 16-year-old there also, and when I got to the point to where I didn't think that I could do anymore, my daughter ran with me and encouraged me. And when I was doing pull-ups and I had tears running down my face because it hurt so bad, I remember Chris telling me, Jen, you can go to bands. And I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it. And I just remember afterwards, and I completed it, and I completed it all RX pull-ups. And he was so excited, and the fact that I overcame, and I did something that at some point my mind was telling me that I needed to stop, and my body was telling me that I needed to stop. And I overcame it, and I did it. And I think that is one thing that CrossFit has really taught me, is that no matter what life throws at me, no matter what situation I might find myself in, if I can CrossFit, I can overcome anything.